friends. Good morning. Happy Monday. I'm Christiana Gaudet. I am your tarot fairy godmother. Thank you for being here on my YouTube channel. I try to be here every Monday morning at 9:30 Eastern Time for your 3-card weekly reading. That's where we pull 3 cards for the collective. The energy is available to all of us for the week ahead. And then I do single card readings for the week ahead for those who request. And I see many of you are here already and you know exactly what to do to ask for your card for the week. I will get to, I should have time to get to all of you today, as long as you don't mind waiting. But while you're waiting, or if you happen to be watching an archive, if you listen, you will hear, as I'm reading for other people, you'll hear things that strike your heart as well. And if and when that happens, you can take that as a reading for you yourself. And that's sort of how these collective readings work too. When we talk about a card for the collective, or 3 cards for the collective, as we do here, how is it that 3 cards pulled can be true for everyone? It's so interesting. But it does seem to work, that it expresses what's going on the planet, how we are likely to react to it. It gives us advice for the week ahead. It's a process that, I was late to this party, to be honest with you. Many people were doing these cards for the collective long before I started doing it, because I couldn't really get a sense of how that could possibly be, because if you've had an individual reading with me, you know how specific and individual it is. So how can we do this broad thing? Well, guess what? Tarot is powerful. We can do the narrow, we can do the broad, we can do it all. And that's what we're going to do here today. So again, thank you all so much for being here. If you're just getting here, please do get your request in for the card for the week. Now, I'm on this thing. I got Mystic Mondays Tarot as part of my winter holiday haul, which was now like 3 months ago. But I am just all about using Mystic Mondays Tarot on Monday. I mean, it's not a rule. We don't have to do that. And if you want me to start to switch it up, I will. You can just say, enough with the Mystic Mondays. But until you complain, this is probably what's going to happen, is every Monday I pull out this deck, which I really, really like. It's hard for client readings because of it's great cardstock. It's got this wonderful silver edging, but that makes it hard for me to put it through its paces for sort of the daily workhorse. And so I like it so much that it's wonderful to have this thing that I do with it every week. So let us start with the card for the collective. And let me get shuffled here. We will take a look and we will see the 3 cards that speak to us of the energies available, the things that we want to be aware of as we look toward this coming week. All right, our first card. Good Lord, man. Monday morning, get your cup of coffee and get ready for a week, because we have the 10 of Wands. That can talk about some heavy burdens. We may be busy this week. We may have a lot we got to deal with. We may look at the news of the world and say, good Lord, how much more can we take? Now, on a personal level, if you are feeling overburdened, you really want to take a look at that. Have you committed to do things that really aren't yours? Do you need to delegate more? Are you carrying emotional burdens, things from the past, worries about things you can't do anything about anyway? This week, we each as individuals need to explore the burdens that we're carrying and really decide if if we should be carrying all of them, maybe it's time to not feel the weight of the world on our shoulders every single day. Maybe we can bring in spiritual guardianship, ask the ancestors and the angels to take some of these burdens. The burdens we're left with, the things that we have to do. This card reminds us we're strong enough. We are strong enough to do what we have to do. Maria Pia says, my shoulder hurts for real. Yeah, this card can literally talk about back issues, shoulder issues, things of that nature. So be careful about that as well this week. All right. Next card. The Princess of Swords reversed, which would be like the Page of Swords. And so do not be afraid to ask for help. Do not be afraid to delegate if it's appropriate to do so. And take a look, if speaking your truth will lessen your burden and lighten your load, it's a good idea unless speaking that truth will unduly add to the load of someone else. And when we talk about speaking your truth, make sure it's your truth and not the BS you've been telling yourself. And are you telling yourself some BS right now? And is that part of what is contributing to this burden? Is part of your burden an old, worn out, or untrue story that you are telling yourself? Look at the stories that you believe about your life. Are they true? Do they work for you? Is there a way that you could tell that story differently to make your load lighter? Okay. And what will the third card be? Oh man, it's a week ahead. Good Lord. We may need to move from coffee to vodka right now. I don't know, man. Because we also have the Knight of Swords reversed. So look at this, the Page of Swords, or in this case, Princess, and the Knight of Swords, both reversed. Man, there is so much BS. There is BS in the world, and we have to be careful about BS going on around us that adds to our burden. Now, here's what you have to do. If you are believing BS because you think it makes your burden lighter, you got to look at that truth. This week, we all need to do a personal deep dive for our own truth. What are we telling ourselves? What are we believing? Is it really true? About ourselves, about our past, about the people around us, about the world itself, even about spirit. We need to find truth, and we need to be truth tellers in the world in a way that helps, not in a way that hurts. So this is a heavy responsibility, but it is a responsibility for each one of us, especially in the internet age. How many times have you seen something go by on social media, think, oh, that's interesting, share, and then find out that you have just shared complete BS? Don't hit share if you can't verify the story. And do the same thing with the stories in your heart. I cannot tell you the number of times I do a reading for someone that starts out with, well, this person is a really great person. And then we hear how that person has been hurting other people around them. Like, exactly which part of this person is so great? We tell ourselves stories that set up situations that add to our burdens and that cause ourselves to be hurt in ways that we don't need to be. So again, stories about yourself, stories about your past, stories about the people around you, as well as stories about the planet. Look at what's really true and what's not, and stop sharing stories with yourself, with others and with the world if they're not true. Cheryl's ready to join me for some vodka. I'll tell you what. No, seriously. Alcohol is not the answer. Meditation, figuring out what is really true and delighting in the truth. You know, there was that piece in the Bible, the truth shall set you free. That's what we really need, especially this week. All right, let's see if individual cards. Oh, and Donna brings up a good point. The reverse is also true when we're telling stories about how bad a person is. Maybe they're not so bad at all. Absolutely true. Right. So this week, let's be really careful about the stories we tell and recognize the power of our stories to help or to hurt. All right. Now, you know what? Before I start doing individual readings, I'm just going to drop a link. And this is a link for you to get a ticket to the Zoom class that I'm doing this Thursday, 7 p.m. Eastern Time. You need a ticket. It is the Tarot Flow Workshop, how to find your flow in a tarot reading each and every time. So make sure you hit that link and get your ticket. All right, I am scrolling back here. I'm going to take these in the order in which I see them, and hopefully we will see some cards that will help lighten the mood a little bit here. Okay, starting with Smile Soul 20, a card for the week ahead. Knight of Pentacles reversed. Do you have some time off work this week? It may be that you are able to take some time off, which would always be great. And it may be that things at work, if you are working, will be a little different than usual. And I'm not saying different good or different bad, just different. So be on the lookout for that. Marion, nice to see you. A card for your week ahead. Two of Swords. I feel like you have some decisions you need to make this week. And I also feel that you may need to be sort of working on being at peace with decisions that you have already made. Recognize your power to say your truth, to live in your truth, and to make decisions based on your truth. And don't let anyone shake you off that stump. All right, Kim Case, so nice to see you. Five of Wands reversed. You know, this week, I think you really need to be careful about picking and choosing your battles. And there's some drama that just isn't yours that people are going to try to make yours that you just don't want to get into. So be willing to declare your space a drama-free zone. Samantha, nice to see you. What do we see for your week ahead? Death reversed. You know, there's so much here about figuring out where you need to be tenacious, where you need to dig your heels in and say, I'm going to conquer this and I'm going to be successful, and where you need to not fight a losing battle. So this week, it's about figuring out where to be strong and tenacious and where you're just being stubborn and it's time to not even try. Okay, Nature Renew. Nice to see you. A card for you, the Hermit. So, you know, the question is, are you spending a lot of time alone and are you finding wisdom in that? This week, it might be time to reach out to other people and to be more a part of your community, but also to value your time alone and to find wisdom and peace in that time. Melissa Burkhammer, so nice to see you. A card for you, the Nine of Wands reversed. This week, do not be afraid to ask for help. And remember that you have people around you, people who care about you, who are there for you. Make sure you reach out to them. Okay, a card for Belinda Murphy. Justice reversed. You know, there are some things going on that may be feeling not fair. And, you know, aren't you doing something career-wise or have someone around you doing something career-wise that could have to do with law, legalities, contracts, things of that nature? Pay extra special attention this week to make sure that you are dotting your I's and crossing your T's and getting everything right. So this week, look for things that are unfair and what you can do about it. And if it comes to anything that you're doing having to do with law, legalities, contracts, any of that, pay special attention because mistakes could happen. So you want to avoid mistakes. Maria Barisi, nice to see you here. A card for you. The Princess of Pentacles reversed. So this week, I feel like you might need to do some communication with yourself, with family, or with people around you, having to do with financial stuff or having to do with the distribution of labor. Who's taking care of what? Who's doing what? Don't let it all fall on your shoulders. Karen Parker, so nice to see you. Glad that you're here. King of Wands reversed. Karen, this week, think about in what ways you want to be a leader, in what ways you are a good leader, and in what ways you do not want to be put in a leadership position. Think about this especially when it comes to the things about which you are passionate. When we look at pursuing your passions, are you better doing it as a leader? Are you better doing it as a follower? Or are you better doing it just on your lonesome? That's what you want to think about this week. Hey, Jean Mnuchin, nice to see you. The Lovers reversed. So, Jean, this week you need to really think about what you want to integrate into your life, who you want to integrate into your life, and how you want to do that. Remember, you are the queen of your own domain. You don't have to have anything in your life that you don't want to have in your life. So figure it out and choose it carefully. Joanne Smith, so nice to see you. When we look at this upcoming week for you, we see the Three of Wands. This week, you have a real opportunity for success or to move towards success. Go into this week feeling confident, thinking about your own success and the ways in which you can be successful and want to be successful. Cynthia, nice to see you. Cynthia, for you, we see the Knight of Wands reversed. And I think this is you really thinking about what your next step is. One way or the other, you are about to take a next big step and you are in control of that. And I think you're feeling maybe a little nervous, a little afraid, not sure what step to take. Let's turn this right side up so you will feel empowered to take the step, honestly, that feels like the most fun. Do the thing that feels the most fun. Claire C., nice to see you. Glad that you're here. Claire, you get the Eight of Pentacles, and I love that in this card, the Eight of Pentacles is an artist. This week, think about your creativity. In what ways do you want to create? What do you want to create in your life, and how can you do it? Remember that you are in charge. You are the artist of your life, literally and figuratively. What do you want to do with that? Jake, 5345. We know that that's Robin. So nice to see you. Ace of Wands reverse, man, you have been dealing with a lot, and it is sapping your energy and your strength in a lot of different ways. This week, be very, very careful about your own self-care. Be very careful to do what you have to do to take care of yourself, because I know you're trying to take care of other people. And if you don't take care of yourself, you can't take care of other people. That's what we're dealing with. Okay, Cheryl Jefferson. Two Wands reversed. I think this week you really need to be thinking about your way forward for the future. And I know you've been doing that for a while and you're sort of coming up with, I don't know what to do. And you may still have some of that energy this week. I don't know what to do. Be spiritual about it. Ask for a vision. Do divination. Breathe. Ask Spirit to guide you and find your truth for your way forward. You don't have to make any moves this week, but you do have to start coming up with a plan. Mystics Haven, nice to see you. What do we see for the week ahead? Four of Swords reversed. You are going to be busy, 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 busy. Now, be careful not to overthink things. Make sure you rest when you need to, but there will be some real opportunities this week to do things maybe a little bit outside of your comfort zone. And don't be afraid. Don't be afraid to step a little bit outside of your comfort zone. Hey, Carrie Dunnick, nice to see you. I have a prediction for you. No, seriously. I think you're going to be having a very interesting conversation with someone today. Anyway, beyond that, a card for the week. Let's see what we have for you. The Star reversed. This week, you want to think about what's going to make you happy, what's going to make you feel fulfilled, what's going to bring you healing. I think there are times that you know you want and need these things, happiness, fulfillment, satisfaction, healing, but you're not always sure to what extent you can have those things or to what extent you deserve those things or how to get those things. And that, I think, is where you need to turn your attention this week. Okay, Donna, nice to see you here. Glad that you're here. Here is a card for you. The Four of Wands reversed. This week, you're another one. I said this to another person, but I'm going to say it to you. Do not be afraid to step outside of your comfort zone. Do not be afraid to try something new or different or a little challenging. And when you think about the things of your past that did not go the way you wanted them to, that did not go the way they should have, especially those that involved other people disappointing you, this week, try to find some healing and release from that. Do not let those stories of the past inform the stories of your future. Okay, Maria Pia, a card for the week. Queen of Swords reversed. So this week, we were talking in the 3-card weekly reading about the search for truth. For you, it's incredibly important. This week, you must find your own truth, what is true about you, and do not let anyone else tell you what your truth is. You know your own truth. Nobody else does. Do not let people tell you who you are or how you are or what you should do or who you should be. You have to stand in your own truth and your own power. Okay. Christine and Celeste. Here we go. Here is a card for the week for you. The Three of Swords reversed. There has been pain and heartache here. There has been hurt here. This week, there is opportunity for healing, whether that is physical, mental, emotional, spiritual, financial, or all of the above. Look for the healing that is available to you this week. Okay, makeup and fashion insomnia. Nice to see you, Eight of Swords. This week, be very careful about self-imposed limitations, anxiety, and overthinking. Try to be more limitless in your thinking. Try to be more limited in the way that you let your brain devour itself with too many thoughts, and allow yourself some grace this week. Hey, Clumsy Clairvoyance, so nice to see you. You get the Ace of Swords reversed, and this is a theme for everyone this week. It's about anti-BS. If it's someone else feeding you BS, if it's you believing BS from someone else or from yourself, let's turn this right side up and let it be your anti-BS device. Stand in your truth, stand in your power. But make sure what you see as your truth really is true. And be careful about who and what you trust. But be yourself in such a way that you can trust yourself. La Morena, so happy to see you. Two of Cups reversed. This week, work on self-esteem, work on positive relationships, and work on being open to love. TK, I was just thinking about you. I like your Zumba video. I was thinking about how much we miss you. So glad to see you here today. A card for you for the week ahead. The World reversed. You are still waiting to see where in the world you're going to be and how you're going to get there, but I promise you, news is coming soon, and you're doing a good job making peace with being where you're at in the moment. Hey, Sarah, nice to see you. Glad that you are here. Okay. Sarah, you get the Four of Pentacles. This week, you have to think about boundaries. You have to think about taking care of yourself. You have to think about what works for you and being very clear about what those boundaries are with yourself and with other people. McKenna, so nice to see you. You get the Knight of Wands upright. This week, pursue some fun. This week, pursue creativity and spirituality and recognize your power so to do. Okay. Okay. Hey, Maria Pia, you signed up for the workshop. That's awesome. Okay, here is a card request from LP. The High Priestess. This week, work to find your balance and your inner wisdom. Look to be careful about the words you use. Sometimes silence is better than words. Look to honor what is divine within you and recognize your own spiritual gifts. Okay, Happy Rose, nice to see you. Six of Swords. This week, it is logic above emotion, head above heart. Do the smart thing, do the wise thing, do the logical thing, and you will move forward. Okay, from my perspective, I have answered every request. If I accidentally skipped you, I apologize. Please reiterate your question. If you've been here and you have not asked for a card, now is the time. Go ahead and put that request in there. In the meanwhile, I am going to drop that link for the Tarot Flow Workshop one more time. Or not. I'm going to try. If I can. I will. Okay, I did. All right. So get to that link, get a ticket to the Tarot Flow Workshop. I want to remind you, too, that I will be back here Thursday with your Tarot Topics Weekly Newsletter recap. What you need to do is go to my website, tarotbychristiana.com. That's where you can get a ticket for the class. That's where you can learn about other classes coming up this month here on YouTube. We've got 2 of them coming up on YouTube. And that's where you can make an appointment to have a reading with me. That's where you can read my blogs, and that's where you can sign up for my weekly newsletter. And I hope you do all of those things. I also hope you have a great week. And if we've learned anything from our time together today from these cards, what have we learned? Avoid BS. Don't BS yourself. Don't let other people BS you. And if there's BS out in the world, it is okay to sequester yourself from it to keep your sanity. All right. Before you say goodbye, please hit like. Please hit like on this video. And please subscribe to this channel. I want to thank you so very much. Have a great week, everyone.